Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Wednesday, so you know what that means. We are back here at the Bold Prediction Sports Media Podcast, various studios on different parts of the country. I'm Mr. KC's protege slash partner slash mentor slash whatever other accolade, because we all one. We like a circle, because he's my protege too. We're like a blended. Long story short, I'm that dude with the beard. He's Mr. KC from the 813. What's going on, my G?
Oh, just chilling like a villain. Try to get these bets in so we can make that million. You know what I'm saying?
Whew, I do, because we need all of that. Every
Yes,
drip drop,
sir.
every dime. Mm. Yes, Lord. And we coming at you again, folks. More NFL action, week 15, but just to kind of recap week 14, another crazy week in the NFL. And it's starting to really shape up playoff football. We're really starting to see kind of where the chips are falling here. Um, a few upset wins, a few controversial losses. Um, I think the game that stands out most for me is the one that I love. I loved it so much. The Dolphins losing. And I was just
Mm.
so ecstatic because if you know my partner, it's always the fin for the win. But I keep telling him they're gonna always be the Dolphins. We're gonna start to see the matriculation. It's already going, but we'll see. But we needed them to lose anyway because Kansas City suffered a tough loss against the Bills. I can't believe it, dude.
Mm.
Um, yeah, terrible calls, terrible alignments, terrible everything in that game. But like I said, according to history, they don't like the Chiefs winning more than 12 games, so they had to make sure we lost at least five already. So now when we go on this winning streak, we'll end up at 12. Mr. KC, is there a game in your mind that sticks out?
Man, there was a couple of them that were really just like shocking. Like the Lions losing. That was a
I
like
told you.
what? What? It just had me in a very what situation. Look, you guys can watch the parlay show. I don't know if you've seen the parlay episode. It's out there on YouTube. It's out there on Rumble.
Trying to tell you, man.
Mm.
Them Bears, like I said, it was some sneaky money. The only thing that didn't hit, the Ravens escaped by the skin of their teeth.
But we
By the
knew it.
skin.
Hey, we knew that was a game. Look,
I'm
that had so much upset potential written all over it, and they were so absolute close. They took it to overtime as 7-point dogs. That lets you know how close that one was to being right.
Oh yeah, like it was a phenomenal game to say the least. Matthew Stafford still showing that he's got it, and he's making that Rams team 6-7, but they look formidable. Still in the playoff thick of things. They're looking really good. Like I said, not really surprised about the Bears win, because it's the Lions, dude. Like I know they started off high. I know they're even semi still good. I mean, they're the only 9-win team that I think are really still bad, but that's just a matter of opinion. Um, it's just not a shocker to me. I've been nailing these upsets the last few weeks. I've been nailing them.
You know, it's something that kind of shocked me on the Monday review show that I did is I started looking at the playoff picture, and we're really seeing three NFC North teams in the playoffs currently. You know, if the season ended today, here we are with three NFC North teams in the playoffs. And it's unbelievable to say that out loud. And it's not even the Bears. And that, like the Bears ain't even one of them. Like the Packers and the
Kings of the
Vikings are still,
North.
yeah, still in playoff hopes. I don't think they end up making it to the playoffs, all three of them. But man, just sitting here week 15 talking about the NFC North running the NFC wild card spots is wild.
Man, and we even see in the North, the AFC North starting to shape up a little different. We've seen Kenny Pickett go down. The Patriots was able to steal a win. We see the Bengals able to pretty much take care of the Colts handedly, dude. Like
Hmm.
that was a game that was surprising about the spectrum of the scoring. But you're starting to see That AFC North and what the Browns are 8-5 with the last minute win over the Jags, dude. Like,
Yeah.
good night. The North it's looking dangerous. Like that's where a lot of those wild card seasons might go. They're
Yeah.
all still feasible. And they're all still in the hunt.
And the Browns was a shocking consensus first time consensus pick for the show. We've never had to
Right.
pick both of us pick the Browns. We've got a couple dozens anti. Both of us did not pick the Browns. We have those. We
Yeah.
have a few where I picked them and you didn't, but that was the first time we said, you know what? We're guaranteeing victory over the Prince that's promised. And what happened? Bam, you've seen it. Cleveland with Joey Flacco. Joey the baller. Joey put some respect on my name. Let me censor that for a second. And Joey Flacco. Oh, Joey Flacco balling out for the Browns. I think he has like the fourth most wins for a Browns quarterback since like the 2000s. And or in their stadium or something like that. Like it is a ridiculous stat.
It is. But he came in looking very Joe Dilfer-esque, man. He's coming in and doing what he needs to do. He's managing that thing. He's getting the rock off. Got David Njoku his best game of the season last week. So I think we're gonna see a more spread around. He's pretty much the best quarterback they've had in years, and that's saying a lot.
I mean, if we're just going to be completely honest, I mean, you paid a guy $50 million a year to look worse, and he ain't even there. So, what do you? And this is Joe off the couch Flacco. This ain't even
Fresh
prime
off the
time.
couch.
Yeah,
Just
like,
left Sam's Club. Fresh off the couch. He said, "What? Y'all need me to come and get y'all a win? All right, man. I can do that.
yeah,
I need about
I can do that.
$3 million though.
Right.
Good
And he
night.
probably got it. He probably got more than that. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm sure that the Browns are frivolous with that checkbook. Like I said,
Mm.
and Joe Flacco playing for the Browns right now just further solidifies my point as the worst trade in NFL history. Trading for Deshaun Watson, a guy who's not even playing, who's reaping all the money benefits, and he's just a Brown in name. He's not even. I don't even feel like he's a part of that team, dude. It seems like they're always better without him for the little time that
Right.
he's been there.
That ain't no lie. That ain't no lie. Speaking about teams that should be doing better, though, we got to talk about our Super Bowl picks. We got
We
to
do.
talk about these Super Bowl picks. I've got the 49ers. 49ers looking a little legit nowadays, a little hot. It might be kings of the NFC right now. And on
They
the other
look.
hand, we got your
They looking like
Seahawks.
they always do. They looking like they always do, man. The Seahawks, they'll have a rough stretch and then win these next few and still be in the playoffs and make a run. Nobody said they had to have the best record in NFC to get to the Super Bowl. That was never my statement. But
Right.
they can still just get in and win because they still got that dog in them. Like there's been a few things that's collapsed and it seemed like it's going wrong, but with 7 losses in the NFC, they're still going to get in the playoffs. So we'll see just how that thing shakes up for real. I'm still saying the inevitable is going to happen with this Brock Purdy situation. They're not going to the Super Bowl, man. They're just not. It reminds me of so many other Niner teams that shouldn't have made it, but if they did make it, it was by the skin of their teeth. But you had Jimmy G, and Jimmy G is still a better quarterback than Brock Purdy, and I don't think Brock Purdy
Yeah,
has the
I don't.
the skin of his teeth kind of play in him. He's not the guy you can be like, yeah, Brock can go win the game for us. We down big
Yeah.
or down any. Like shit. Like he,
He
he
ain't
can
got to
only
win the
play with the
game for
lead.
you. All he's got to do is hand it to CMC, and he'll win the game for you.
Yeah,
Like,
until he goes down inevitably, as usual.
I mean, that could happen.
I'm just saying,
That very well could happen.
I'm just waiting for the man to finish the season in San Francisco. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
And I'm just worried that we might be outside looking in for the rest of the season for the old Seattle Seahawks.
No, not at all. They're going to be in the playoffs. There's not enough action in the NFC to keep them out.
We'll have to see how these picks shake out. It's a little rough of a schedule. You kind of got dealt a bad card. Some of these teams like the Dallas Cowboys get super easy pass, and some teams get the Seattle Seahawks path, and it's just different cards.
Yeah, it's a little harder, but that's what makes it more sweet in the end. It'll be all right because Dallas, I mean, they're not going to the Super Bowl, so that's within itself there. They're going to do what they always do: look great at the beginning of the season, become mediocre, look great again before the playoffs, get to the playoffs, lose in the divisional round, probably. Well, no, not even divisional round this year. Yeah, you're probably going to lose in the first round, and then it's back to Dallas, I guess. I mean, usual things. I mean, at least Texas is trying to become its own country. I mean, you got that going for you because you're probably not going to get another Super Bowl in the next
Yeah,
15 to 20 years. So we'll
not
see.
not that I'd predict in the
No,
whole state of in the whole state of Texas. By the way, not
right.
just
Not just
don't
Dallas, right?
yeah, don't take offense. We include both teams. Like,
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. The NFC, we'll shake it out, but I'm still right with the Seahawks for now until I can't no more, until the wheels are off. They're my
hey,
pick and we're still going.
that fat lady has not sung. Even Chargers fans are looking at the outside, looking in, saying, if everybody else just loses and we just win, we're in. You see the post saying it may take a miracle, but we're not the Patriots. We're not eliminated, even though I
Right.
mean, in reality they are. But
Yeah, because
without
Herbert's
he
done.
lost.
It's
Yeah,
it's
he
over.
lost Herbert. It's done. Yeah, I mean it was over with Herbert. Let's not get it mistaken. But as
Thank you.
far as throwing in the flag and calling it a season, you lose Herbert, the one hope that didn't even come through. Like, you just throw in the towel, coach. He's done. Too much damage. He's been hit too many times.
Yeah, it's pretty much a wrap. And I think the folks know our consensus pick for the AFC representative in the Super Bowl. It'll still be the Kansas City Chiefs. Um, I really don't see it happening any other way. Lost a few ugly games, but they always win the games that matter the most, which are in the playoffs and then on the way to the Super Bowl. So as
Right.
long as Project
And
Pat is ready, we'll be ready.
And I would say to all the people that are calling that a homer take or whatnot, I would look around at the AFC currently, or we're saying currently, and say who's really in there stopping them. It's really the Ravens. That is the team to beat in the AFC. And you can't tell me the Chiefs can't beat the Ravens. What, are we supposed to go
Right.
toe to toe with the Dolphins? I'm okay
Right.
with that game. Like, that doesn't. The Jags aren't a scary team, at least currently. Nothing to make me fear about. Like, what team are we supposed to? What, are we supposed to be afraid of the Bills, who are
Right.
not sitting in the playoffs currently? We're supposed to
Right.
be. We're supposed to be afraid of the team that doesn't make the playoffs, and tell me the Chiefs don't win that game on a rematch. Tell me
Right.
the Chiefs pray to God the Bills can make it back to the playoffs so we can run that back, because I guarantee you that playoff pat continues that streak. I
Oh
promise
yeah.
you there. Like, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. But I'm rooting for you, Buffalo. Like, please, like you. The only way we can run this back is if you somehow pull it off. And looking at the schedule this week, I can already tell you that's an L. Like, we haven't even gone into the picks yet, so that tells you
Right.
something.
And speaking of picks, ladies and gentlemen, let's just go ahead and dive on into week 15. We'll start with the traditional, what is this, the third or fourth annual that they've been doing on Prime, or second, third annual?
Second.
Something like that. Second annual? Second
Second annual.
annual Jeff Bezos bowl number, whatever. It's a trash bowl, toilet bowl, AFC West
That's
trash showdown. We
that's
got
tradition.
the Chargers versus the Raiders. And I will give my traditional answer that I usually give. Who cares?
Man,
Who cares? No one. No one
uh,
cares. I'll put an
who
asterisk
wants to?
next to this. I hope they tie. I mean, like, I really don't care. I guess for the sake of having to make a pick and heavy asterisk on it, and I refuse to pick either one of these teams ever again for the rest of this season. But now that they're head to head and I have to pick one, I've only been in this second time been in this situation. I'm gonna pick the Raiders, and that's just about as much as I can muster up to talk about. Mr. KC,
Is it? Oh, I guess either way, it's a home team
the home
for the
game.
Raiders. It's a home game for the Raiders. I was about to ask the location for clarification, and then I
Yeah,
like remembered who I was talking about. I remembered that the Chargers don't have a home field. Oh man, I'm gonna go Raiders. I just can't. I don't understand the point of it. How did this get any a primetime game with backup quarterbacks? On one team has already fired the coach. The other team will be firing their coach. Like,
right.
what are we doing here on a Thursday? Uh take your kids to the movie, folks.
Man, or rent one, make it easy. I'm sure
Yeah,
Amazon Prime got some. If you're gonna
yeah,
be on Prime, just go to the movie section. Let's just do that.
yeah,
Because who cares? Because no one cares. Not
yeah.
even the so-called fans of these franchises care at this point. I don't see how they could. You're both 5-8. It's pretty much what it is at this point.
You probably losing is probably more of a win for either one of these teams too. That's
Mhm.
the saddest part. Like at this point, you want the draft picks,
Not the
so
draft
like
capital, especially if you're
yeah,
in LA. The Chargers need to lose this game because, like I said, that thing is about to be stick of dynamite. They finally gonna do it. I'm telling you, Mr. Casey, it's gonna happen. They're gonna finally light that stick of dynamite. I've been told them to light 2 years ago. About to blow this thing up. You got to do it. It's about time. Because if the Chiefs had to do a semi blow, what makes you think you down there in non-winning Los Angeles is gonna do anything to surpass what you've been doing? It's time to blow that thing up. Get Keenan Allen out of there, Mike Williams out of there, get you some young, fresh talent in there, beg Austin Eckler not to leave, and leave it at that.
I'd get rid of Austin Eckler too. Wipe the floor clean. And if you're offended, Chargers fans, just look at it this way: at least you have something to blow up. The Raiders don't even have that. So, like,
Exactly.
what are we? What are we talking about?
Right. At
Like,
least you're hopeful. Like this is a
yeah,
good. When I'm telling you to blow it up, I mean like save yourself, blow it up, and then get better. Because
right,
y'all was the consensus second spot nonetheless. But at least the world knew y'all was gonna finish second in the West. Now y'all behind Denver, fighting for third with the Raiders. How low will ye fall?
right, and not just the Raiders who have been playing with a backup quarterback and a backup coach for weeks now. Like, what? Oh, this is
Lord
yeah,
bless.
y'all light the dumpster fire, let it float away.
Yeah, please. Moving on here, let's get out of the trash pit. We're stepping into an interesting game here. A game where it was thought that both these teams were out the playoff mix, and both of them could still very well be in it. At least one heavier sided in this matchup. We have the Minnesota Vikings versus the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Vikings' playoff hopes are higher just because they're in the NFC. I still believe the Bengals are done. I don't think there's enough backup magic in the world to get them to the playoffs. Um, and in this game, I'm going with the Vikings still. I think that's just what it is at that point.
No, that Vikings Raiders game, I had given up on the Vikings, but that Vikings Raiders game which the Vikings won, let me know that I've lost all hope in that Vikings team. They had 3 points. They did not score until a minute 30 left in the fourth quarter, and they got that field goal.
when
They
they
won
needed it the
3-0.
most.
Where they needed it the most, they got a field goal. Give
Gotta
me
love that tenacity.
Give me the Bengals. Like that Browning kid is at least not lost yet. Like I got that going for me.
Yeah, that's about it. Because I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure the L's coming this weekend. The magic wears off. Unless, like I said, unless you Uncle Rico, man. You don't see too many backups out here slanging and banging, pressing them buttons. Shout out to Texas once again.
Well,
uh,
I mean, Browning kind of has, and he's really kind of showing that. I don't know if Joe Burrows looks good, but tell you what, you put someone with a couple number one wide receivers, some legitimate talent, and you got a chance to actually do something. And a lot of
mhm.
teams should take notes from that. They do things like get Lamar Jackson, but don't give him any talent around him, and then have a Pikachu face wondering why he can't win a Super Bowl. And
Right.
then you see teams that it's like what they did with Tua. Tua's a terrible quarterback. You give him Tyreek Hill and Waddle, all of a sudden he's an okay quarterback. He's
Right.
okay.
He's okay. I agree with you on that. There's not too many faults I can point out in that. Other than that, yeah, no, I can't point that out either. I was going to talk about Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, but respectively, they are good wide receivers. So I just have to leave it at that. Next game we got on the list here, another Saturday. Oh, and I'm sorry, folks, that I meant to tell you this is the Saturday game talking about for the Vikings and Bengals because they split the schedule when we get a little further down the road here. Also, this Saturday we got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Indianapolis Colts, and um, without my boy KP there, I'm almost afraid that they'll fall to 7-7. Still in the mix, but at the same time, man, you're giving the Colts another leg up in the South, and could the Colts move to 8-6 and really be in contention with the South? Really, almost be tied for first with Jacksonville? Is the AFC South, man? Is it turning out to be one of the best divisions in football, Mr. KC? I didn't want to say it, but it was just like, is it really one of the best? Like, what is happening here?
It's that thing no one wants to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about the AFC South. And it's really, you have to look at the emergence of the Texans and maybe what the Colts are really kind of pulling off. And it's becoming a 4-team franchise, a 4-team division. If the Titans could get their stuff together, that'd be such a scary division.
It would be, and it's crazy to see how far they've fallen from being literally the team you knew was going to win the South. Almost, past few years been in the playoff mix, high seeded in the playoff at that, and now it's like, dude, they just can't. I don't know, man. They can't even throw bread in a bucket full of fish, and hopefully, it's still catch. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but it's crazy to think about. But the South is really shaping up to be a good one. But in this game, like I said, I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Colts, though. Unfortunately, dang man, I miss Kenny Pickett in this game.
I don't know if I miss Kenny Pickett. I'm going with the Steelers. I think I actually seen a conversation today talking about if the Steelers should fire Mike Tomlin, and here I am putting the man up for Coach of the Year. Like I just there was a Steelers fan trying to rationalize tanking. You'd rather fire Tomlin and do bad than acknowledge that Mike Tomlin is in a playoff spot right now. That you're talking about, you want to fire a coach that's making the playoffs because he hasn't won a playoff game in a while. And I'm like, what do we? He also hasn't had a losing season while either.
Ever.
Yeah, not even just in a while. Just,
ever.
at any given point in time. And another thing, if you look at any of these rosters for these playoff teams, they are worse than the Steelers. Or they're better
Exactly.
than the Steelers. Excuse me, I said that wrong.
No,
The
I knew what
Steelers
you
are a
meant.
worse team. Yeah, the Steelers are a worse team than any team in the playoffs. And if you look at the teams sitting on that bubble outside of the playoffs with real playoff possibilities, that roster is still worse than those. Like
Right.
it's worse than teams that can't even make the playoffs. And we're talking about firing this man so you can tank, so you can have some losing
And who
seasons
you
that
gonna get to
maybe,
coach your team? You think Bill
man, that was
Belichick's gonna come on down? You think he's going to
man.
Pittsburgh after this season since New England done with him? Who knows what happens with that? And that's interesting in itself. There, see if y'all really want him out that bad, Mike Tom will go to New England, and I bet you they'll welcome him with open arms.
Mike Tomlin will have a job before they say he's fired. Like,
Right.
what are we talking about here?
Well, as soon as he's fired, he's got an email. Somebody, I just heard. I just hung up the phone. Well, if you want the job, it's here for his family. Arizona, like bro, there's plenty of places where he can go and coach. And I'm not saying he's gonna go to a bad team because my only thing is he's gonna step up from this. He's gonna
Right.
end up somewhere where he can do some real good. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did let him go for some crazy reason. He could end up in Chicago and turn that whole
Mm,
man. Good night. That's all they
mm.
needed, a Mike Tomlin and one receiver, and they would be
Right.
good. Anyway, that's
Uh,
crazy talk.
yeah,
Um,
it just reminded me of when Andy Reid was fired. And like the Chiefs were like, actually, we could meet you at the Philadelphia Stadium. Well,
I'm
we're
trying to
flying
tell
there
you.
right. We're actually on the plane right now.
I'm
We're
calling
on
from the
our
plane,
way.
Andy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
heard you like your hamburgers doubled with extra cheese. Is that right? I held the onion like they said you liked. Curly fries, everything, and we got you some nuggets. We're landing right now. Right now.
Tell me they
Don't
did
go
not pull up
anywhere.
with some. Tell me they did not pull up with some Jack Stacks or some
Oh,
LCs and
yeah.
said, Andy,
Everything. Gates, they got everything. They brought him the what I'll call the Kansas City come home platter. Barbecue from every place, but with Gates sauce over it. And he was sold. And that's all it took. And that's all it took.
we got a quick question to hear from our boy Steve. He said, "Where will Bill Belichick land at the? I'm guessing at the end of the season. I think he retires. The man's old.
Uh,
Let that man hang it up.
I, uh, I don't know if he retires. I mean, if he does, he leaves one of the best legacies you could ever leave in football history. But at the same time, I think Bill Belichick hears naysayers and stuff. I think he wants to coach another team to a Super Bowl win before he rides off into the sunset. I think this is
Mm,
more of a along the lines is it's time to part ways with New England in general. When you parted ways with Tom and everything, and you had him in a situation where he didn't even have the quarterback that he really wanted because y'all wouldn't let him make the moves that he really wanted to make, a la Jimmy G in that whole situation. Um, Really, he could go anywhere that needs a coach, dude. Shoot, I could see him going to LA if they fire Staley. I could see him going to somewhere that has a quarterback who's ready to play. I could see that happening. I really could. If for any reason the Giants wanted to fire Dabo, I could see him doing that. I could see him. I could even see him taking over in New Orleans somehow. Like I can see some of these things happening. Maybe New Orleans on the least side, but he if he doesn't want to retire, he has too many options as far as a job, in my opinion.
yeah, and I mean the thing is Steve has picked he's thinking of the Chargers. He's agreeing with old dude with the beard. And he's thinking another hot name, the Jets. I mean that could be a possibility too. My problem is I think on the as you were saying, he wants to prove himself to win another Super Bowl, which in my opinion his resume almost needs. Like if we're just being honest, not that
Mhm.
let's take that back. It don't need nothing, but it would shut down some other arguments,
Right.
and especially some of the ones I personally make. So there's not a lot of success for Bill Belichick outside of the Tom Brady era, and I'm afraid that you can go chasing another ring and continue that argument of not winning without Tom Brady. You can't win over here without Tom Brady. You can't win over there without Tom Brady. And if like the pressure would be on to almost you got a short leash to start winning playoff games, let alone just making them. He needs to start winning playoff games that don't have Tom Brady as a quarterback.
For sure. Yeah, there's just really no way around that. That's what I'm saying. It's time for him to get out of there and go get him with another quarterback that can really help him juice this thing up. Because, like I said, Tom Brady, he went down to Tampa Bay. Todd Bowles is not a bad coach. Like he's
Right.
been a part of a lot of great systems and stuff. So it's not like the coaching drop off was tremendous. I mean, of course he's not Belichick, but obviously it's enough to where if he just get a little bit of talent, he can do something. I think the spectrum is vice versa for Bill. You throw like say you throw him with any quarterback that made Cincinnati fire they coach and he go coach the Bengals. Or you see what I'm saying, or something like that. Like, dude, something crazy, scary like that. Like, you know what I mean? It's just the possibilities are really good, dude. Even if he should, maybe he goes coach the Well, no, not the Texans because the coach is doing this thing down there. But maybe in Tennessee, maybe he takes Vrabel's job. They move him out, move Belichick in, and like I said, you never know. So we'll see. There's options though. Long story short.
Yeah, there
So
is.
So the next game we got here, which is the final game on Saturday, and it's prime time, 7:15 p.m. We have the perennial trash semi rising from the flame of obscurity dumpster, the Denver Broncos versus the Detroit Lions. And Lord knows I'm going with the Lions in this game. Um, it should be a blowout, really. But we'll see what happens. Denver has a knack of sticking around in certain games now. Um, yeah, still though, it should be the Lions. Unless something like dramatic, like totally dramatic happens, like the Lions are gonna win this game.
Yeah, and we're gonna go ahead and toss Steve's comment in here. He's picking the Lions as well, so we're gonna give that a three-peat here on the show. That is
Trifecta.
all three of us picking the Lions.
Trifecta. Yeah, I mean it only makes sense, dude, because not even just a deep hatred for the Broncos. It's just looking at the matchup, just straight up and down. Jared Goff's the better quarterback, better team, better weapons, better defense, better pass rush. So,
Absolutely. I'm gonna hop off stage real quick, and I'll be right back with you folks.
and ladies and gentlemen, while he's doing that here, the next game we got going on here is going to be starting off our Sunday slate. Is going to be the Atlanta Falcons versus the Carolina Panthers. And you've heard me talk about it more than once, and I'll say it again. The Panthers wish they drafted CJ Stroud because they'd probably have more than one win on the season. Like I said, I just don't want to sound like a hater because I'm Ohio State, but these Alabama quarterbacks outside of Jalen, who's thriving in that system here, and like I said, it is the system that's doing it. And Tua, who's coming along, which it is beyond the system and talent around him, because Lord knows, the world knows he don't have it. These Alabama quarterbacks just really don't be ready for the NFL. So it's good to see that we see a couple of bright spots. Bryce Young or whatever the boy name is, uh, terrible situation through and through. But I'm just looking at the Carolina front office like you really thought that he was going to be the guy to turn it around. C.J. Stroud was better coming out of college. More accurate, faster, more explosive, especially for making big plays, especially on foot. But you got who you wanted. Now you just got to sit there with it. You're gonna give the Falcons their seventh win of the season on their way to still fighting for a playoff position, and more than likely to win their division because that thing is wide open. The Falcons are just a better team, just through and through. Um, and I'm sure Mr. KC would agree. The Falcons are going to win that game. Moving into the next one here, which is going to be a semi-interesting game because the last few games here, the Chicago Bears have been real scrappy, and now they have to face the Joe Flacco-led Cleveland Browns. And if I'm almost just bold enough to say, because it is bold predictions, if they didn't have, if Cleveland didn't have Joe Flacco right now, I would have picked the Bears to win this game. But if Joe Flacco played like he played last week against these Bears, who have been playing pretty decent, trying to get back in the mix of things, it would be a different story. But the Browns are probably going to throttle these dudes, move to 9-5, keep the playoff hopes alive, and just go for it from there, Mister Casey.
Bears, Browns. This is a tough one. This is a tough one because it's exactly what you're saying. The Bears have that upset potential any given Sunday, right? We just saw it last Sunday. We
Mm.
just told you about it. We gave you the pick on the parlay show. Oh, and Flacco is being a monster. Does he continue it? Ah, I think the Brown or the Bears upset again. Back to back weeks upset.
I would
Don't
hope
people are
so.
sleeping on these Brown or these Bears. I almost need to pick the Browns and keep saying their names. This might
Right.
be bad juju, but as tradition in this show, there's no way uh, two people can pick the Browns, and that ain't happening 2 weeks in a row.
Not 2 weeks in a row. Thank you. And I'm doing it out of reluctance.
I
Like I
mean,
said, because my
it's a
boy
tough
Fields
one.
is back. I just had this whole Ohio State quarterback talk because in the previous game that you missed here, it's a consensus pick. I picked your pick for you, the Falcons over the Panthers. Um,
That's
yeah,
appropriate.
pretty.
That's appropriate. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like for every reason in the world, like because the Panthers are sick that they didn't draft C.J. Stroud first. That was
Mm.
just the main point of that whole conversation. So
I didn't
there's
even hear it, and I agree on every point of that conversation. There's none of it that I missed that I don't know, and I absolutely agree on. Like it's just we're gonna call that 1,000. Like it's just what it is.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's just what it is, exactly. Moving on to the next game here, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Green Bay Packers. Now, in all reality, this game shouldn't be as interesting as it's gonna be because the Buccaneers haven't been playing as good. But Green Bay's last game was kind of terrible, even though they've been on a hot run. I'm still thinking that Green Bay uses this game to rectify that to move to 7-7. Their playoff hopes is still thoroughly alive, and they're right in the thick of things. I just think Jordan Love's the better quarterback in this situation, and he's proven to be one of the more decent quarterbacks in the NFL this season so far.
If I've learned anything, it's if I give Jordan Love his flowers, he will lose the game. So here I am
Oh
giving
God.
Jordan Love his flowers. I'm going to pick Tampa Bay, but Jordan Love is a great quarterback, and he's awesome. He's so cool. Like, he is just the coolest. And I was totally wrong about my picks. And so hopefully, every time I do that, he loses. And I really hope that this works.
Lord, Lord, Lord. What are we gonna do with Mr. KC? I try to tell him, folks, if y'all been watching episodes, try to tell him at the beginning of the year, even when we was doing picks. I said, dude, the asterisk has been next to Green Bay for me though. See, I said, bro, because I said the jury was out. Like I said, I was high on Jordan Love. I had to see what he had, what he could do in a full season of starting, and he's one game under 500. And that
Right.
says a lot, dude. Like, you know what I mean? And the guys that he's beat, I'm
uh,
giving that man more respect.
uh,
Jordan Love, you are. I would have got rid of Aaron too because he
yeah.
he can't even
Ooh,
play, and he's probably high
ooh,
right now.
Oh, so much biting my tongue. Jordan Love is an amazing quarterback, and he's going to
Thank
do
you.
great. He's going to
Great
be
things.
awesome. Great things.
Yes,
Just
sir.
awesome, great,
Yes,
stud
sir.
young quarterback. Like, just who needed Brett Favre? Like, we got Jordan Love.
Well,
Like,
hold
what
on.
do we?
We you wait 1 second there,
who,
Rondell.
who needs? Who?
We didn't
He's
say all
actually
that.
going to go down as the greatest quarterback in Packers history. The old Jordan Love.
Well, you
That's
know
that's
what? It
that's his
could
future.
happen. The door
Right?
is
Yep.
open. You know, they're already making a comparison with how he throw the ball with air, how he's getting it off quicker. The deep ball got more beautiful spiral on it. But you know, at the end of the day, we still mess with racist ass Brett Favre over here. I'm no offense to the people
Right.
who's watching or however you feel about him. We still, just like Mel Gibson, we still mess with Brett Favre, baby. I'm
Right.
sorry. So
Look,
it's
uh,
just kind of what it is.
I'm not gonna lie. I've probably sent a picture of something that I shouldn't have sent to someone in my younger years. Okay, we all make mistakes. You know,
Oh,
I just make sure to get a good angle. You know, unlike him. So I don't know what to tell you, folks.
oh god.
Like
But
at that
yeah,
point, just say I'm Brett Favre. Like, what are you doing? Like, why? I don't know.
right. Oh, so you know that was my brother, Brett Favre. I'm Brett Favre. See, we see. Yeah, I said they named us differently for this exact reason.
Yeah.
oh God! The next game we got on the list here, which I'm gonna use actually as my upset pick of the week. I've nailed like the last 4 weeks in a row here on these upset picks, and I think this is the next one. It's the upset pick of the week time. The Miami Dolphins goes down to the New York Football Jets, moving them down to 9-5. The Fins for the L. We got the Jets for the win. And it's just time. The Dolphins need that next loss skid on down. That way Kansas City can keep moving on up and be high in the seeding. Mr. KC, tell us why you think the Dolphins will win.
Well, because they got Tyreek Hill. Let's be honest. Let's call
They
a
had him
spade a
last
spade.
week, and he's
They
hurt.
did. He
They
did.
had him
And he's
last
not
week
feeling the
too,
greatest. Right.
and he's hurt.
Mm. The Jets are a this is actually a sneaky good pick for you too.
I'm trying to tell
Because
you.
because the thing is Zach Wilson has learned that he's already lost his job. He's already you can't fire someone that's already been fired. So just play the
Right,
game.
right.
And
And they said they're going to trade him too. I think that's been in the waiver wire. Said they're going to trade him at the end of the season.
look, there's a lot of film of bad Zach Wilson play on tape, no doubt about it. But there's some sneaky little clips where if you look and pick apart certain plays out of the game, Zach Wilson has elite quarterback potential. You
He
can see,
does.
I can see why he was drafted
Hmm.
6 plays out of the game. Now the rest of the time, you die. It's hard to comprehend. But
Right.
you can see, and like the problem is those 6 times, out of those 6 times you'll see it, 4 of them will be miraculous. Like really want to draft this guy, type of position, and it's just, uh I'm going Fins, but I like that. I like that Jets pick, and pay attention to the parlay show is all I'm going to say. The parlay show will come out on like Friday or Saturdays generally. It's a new show that we're putting out, and we're trying to get you our favorite little parlay builds to kind of get you that like lottery ticket into the into some sports betting.
Goodness gracious. So you said you picked the Jets to win in my brief absence.
No, no, you know better than that. There's no way. You know
oh
better.
goodness. Next game we got on the slate, folks. Here, which is another garbage time game. We got the New York Football Giants with Vito DeVito Mangito. versus whoever's going to be quarterbacking the Saints this week. I'm going with the Giants just because the Saints just don't have it. And they keep proving it to me time and time again that they don't want it. So why would I give them a win when they're not trying to get one themselves?
Look, this Tommy the Donnie DeVito 3 wins. What are we talking about here?
Trying to tell you.
I said it on the Monday Rumble exclusive video. Football's better when the New York Giants are winning. What can we say? It just when football's alive in New York, there's a little
Something
spirit in the
there.
air. Let's
Mm-hmm.
let's make that a 2 for 2 there. Let's go Giants.
Yeah,
We're back.
that's what I'm talking
Let's get
about.
on that bandwagon.
Yeah, let's channel that energy back. In the spirit of my boy Vanilla Vic. We just pass it on down. Let's do it. Next game we got here, an AFC bout clash. We got the Houston Texans versus the Tennessee Titans. Will Levis coming off a good game that he played. The only game that I've ever seen in NFL history where a guy threw a pick and then hit stick a guy and get the fumble. So for that, he will forever be in my upper echelon of highlight plays of all time. I have got to put that in the top 15 until I can boil down more because I've never seen it and you probably will never see it again. It was an incredible play, and just for that, I'm still picking the Texans to win this game because it's CJ Stroud all day. But yeah, Will Levis and them boys, they're going to come to play. It's going to be an interesting game, but the Texans win this game. Keep the playoff thing rolling, trying to win the South, not just compete, but win it.
My problem with Will Levis is there's some games he shows up for, some games he don't. When
Mm-hmm.
you have that type of quarterback on that type of team,
You
I'm
get the
gonna
Buffalo Bills.
yes. Uh, it's just the safe pick is the Texans. I buckle up sometimes when I drive. I'm a safe guy. Like sometimes.
Right.
Um, let's play it safe. Let's go Texans.
Yeah, we're gonna do the smart thing here. Um, Next game we have here, which is gonna be the end of the 12 o'clock slate of games, and which is gonna be a game Mr. Casey and I will be watching closely and personally. It'll be the Kansas City Chiefs versus the New England Patriots in Gillette, in Foxborough, all that jazz. A place where we usually win and win comfortably. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brace yourself. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs because there's just no effing way they should lose this game to the Patriots. But they've
Uh,
been trying. I don't know what was going on, but I know Patrick's good and angry, and an angry Pat is always a good game for Kansas City. So I'm definitely going with the Chiefs. And the defense in New England is real. I would say normally I would say it's a blowout, but I think this is probably a 28, and I think she's even give up maybe 10 to these guys.
I think my favorite term is better than a bye. And that is finally what the Chiefs have gotten on their schedule. They absolutely needed a team like the Patriots. This is what you call a get right game. Okay, folks, sometimes you fall off the bike and you need to get right. And that's what we're going to do here, folks. We're going to beat the Patriots, and that's just the end of the story. We're not playing this game no more. I'm taking my ball, going home. I'm beating the Patriots.
And that's just it. Done and done. Good night and goodbye. Oh, we lost you on video there too, Mr. Casey. I just noticed it went
Nope, give me
quiet.
1 second. I don't know if you can hear me. Give me one moment.
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
We just can't see you. But the next game on the slate here is a game that could have upset potential alert on it here. Um, Matter of fact, it could be written all over it because sometimes teams get overlooked and they get smacked in the mouth. It's the San Francisco 49ers versus the Arizona Cardinals. And I'm just going to do it. I'm that guy. The Cardinals win this game. Upset alert
No, you
season
didn't. Don't
coming
do
up.
that. Don't.
Upset
Don't.
alert. Upset
Don't.
alert. The Cardinals win this game. And
I don't even.
I think it's going to be a game because it's in Arizona. It might be a handy kind of win. I've seen San Fran lose games to teams that they shouldn't lose to, and I'm still not a believer in Purdy. Yeah, we're going with the Cardinals. And you said you're doubling up on that. Sounds like, Mr. KC.
No. No, you know, absolutely. There's no way in God's green earth that I'm picking that pick. There is no way. Oh, no, it's 49ers by a country mile. I don't expect to see any of the starters in the second half. This is,
Ooh,
how do they, this is just no.
just
49ers.
no, huh? Okay. Well, it's gonna make that a little more sweet. A little parlay on that thing. That's coming in another video later time.
There
Uh
ain't no way that's touching any of my parlays.
oh yeah. Look, okay. We're gonna see. This is the weekend. This is the one that's gonna get it paid. We got on our next game here. The Washington Commanders, who have been underwhelming this season, by the way. Just a quick side note. So much potential coming in from last year, and even Bieniemy couldn't fix this dumpster fire. So we got them versus the Rams, who are arguably probably the hottest team still in the NFL, in my opinion, right now. Even though they lost, but like you said, you took the Ravens to the river. You just unfortunately slipped on your own shoe when you got too close. Um, I'm going with the Rams. I still think they're playoff bound.
Oh, this is a tough one. Give me the Rams too. I mean, I'm right there with you. They want to sneak them into the playoffs, I believe. And if you're going to sneak an LA team into the playoffs, it can't be the Chargers.
Can't be
So
the
that
Chargers,
just leaves you one big media market left, and that's going to be the Rams.
right? And at least they're champions. So you might want to get that one on in there, have a little champion battle, so to speak. Go on from there. Not too much to say about that game, folks, because other than that, it's kind of a dumpster fire. Moving into the 325 game of the evening here, we have the Dallas Cowboys versus the Buffalo Bills. And Lord knows Dallas needs to win this game because I don't want Buffalo to win anything. So we're going with the Cowboys, and they're just clearly the better team anyway, straight up and down. There's not a position that they're not better at when I look at the two teams, put them together. Like I said, Josh Allen's trash. He's not better than Dak. I've been saying that for a couple years. It seemed like it's starting to prove itself. Dak is front run for MVP, by the way, BTW. So just keep that in mind. Um, it's Cowboys all day. Cowboys all day.
If you want to talk about a season where a quarterback should not be the MVP, this is the one. If we're talking Dak Prescott is MVP, you need to just stop and just be like, all right, wake up, look everywhere else. But
He's the MVP.
give me them boys. Let's get that MVP caliber win against the Bills.
That's what I'm talking about. Next game we got on the slate here. It's gonna be an interesting one. We have the ninth game, slobber knocker in the making. The Baltimore Ravens, currently the number one seed in the AFC, versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I'm thinking if Android 17 is healthier than he was last week, I think they can beat these Ravens because the Ravens have always proven historically to get high up in seeding and either A, drop off at the very end of the season to lose that spot, or they'll lose in the first round of the playoffs to lose that spot. So I'm gonna go with the other historical fact that they just lose this game and move down to 10-4 to keep everything real close. Because like Kansas City still, in all reality, just one game behind of being number one. Because the other teams they try to put ahead of them, they'd have already beaten them. So Baltimore is really
Mm.
the only odd man out in this situation. So we need Baltimore to take this L.
You can need and want all you want, but I just can't see it. I'm pretty sure
Look, I
preseason.
understand.
I might have even have picked the Ravens preseason, and I'm gonna still pick the Ravens here. Look, they're a powerhouse. Let's not deny it.
Are they though?
Currently number one,
Can't argue with that.
numero uno.
Cannot argue with that.
That's the only
Um,
argument I've got, though.
yeah, because I'm just like, dude. Because at the end of the day, they look great, but when I see the Ravens, I see the Cowboys. Honestly, like you know what I'm saying. Like it, it's the same thing almost all the time with these dudes. It looks great. It always looked great during the regular season, especially in certain spurts. They look like they're the clear cut AFC contender, all that jazz. And then at the end of the year, they'll lose two games that they shouldn't, or they'll or they'll finish hot, maybe losing one game out of the last four, and then they'll lose in the first round that they actually play.
Right. I mean, it's been a tough road for that Ravens franchise, that's for sure. It's
Like
not
I
been an
said,
easy
since
one.
your boy Flacco,
Yeah, since old
Flacco took the rest
Flacco.
of the magic with him. Him and
Look,
Ray Lewis, they both left, and that was it. They sucked it dry.
we got a lot of hate, but you know,
Yeah, they ain't got Ray Lewis around to make them sacrifices no more, killing people in limos. Just
mm,
joking, folks. We all know he did that, but that ain't why they won the Super Bowl. Uh, next game we got on the list here, which is going to move into our Monday night action, which is going to be probably the game of the week. We have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Seattle Seahawks, who are in dire need of this win, who are in dire need to move to 7-7, just to keep the seeding playoffs, in their favor, semi. Because he was never going to be the one seed, probably not even the two, but third, fourth, it's up for grabs. You can make that happen, possibly. Well, no, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. Because I'm still counting on the San Fran skid, which could start this week. So we'll see with that upset. But I'm going with the Hawks in this one over the Eagles.
I don't know if the camera can catch me flying. I
Uh
believe
huh.
the term is going to be
Seahawks.
fly, Eagles flies. Seahawks don't fly. This is this is that schedule that I was talking
They
about.
float.
This is not the team you need to be playing when you need to make the playoffs.
If I remember served me correctly, I don't think the Eagles are too highly touted. I'm pretty sure they just lost a couple of games that they should have won.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so, with that in mind, it's Seahawk time to come in and get that win. It's time. Like it's what it
uh,
is. It's time.
yeah,
Uh
you the 13th
Gino,
man. You the 12th and the 13th. They got you shouting them
I'm
out.
trying to tell you, they gotta do it because I'm riding with y'all. And y'all can get it done. And at this point, the Eagles are gonna be in the offs regardless. He's saying Seahawks don't fly when we all know that's not the truth. What you think Seahawks do? They be snatching them things, snatching salmon, going upstream with them claws.
They be
Seahawks
pooping
all
on
day.
people at beaches. That's all they do.
Hey,
I'm not.
you got to shit on the competition sometimes. So Gino,
Oh,
you go on out here
uh,
and you get on out here and do it. You make sure that you drop that excrement and you show the world why y'all gonna represent the NFC in the Super Bowl this year.
I mean, look, y'all got a fan somewhere. Look, we found him.
Oh
He's
yeah,
right
I'm
here.
riding. I'm riding. I'm with you, Hawks, all day. Ain't no faking on this. Ain't no flaking or faking. We're gonna get that dub, and that's gonna be the end of that. On to the
Right.
offs.
Speaking of the end of that, we are running hard up against the clock. So if you're on Rumble, you're going to watch us and we're going to continue with our great content. And our YouTube folks and Facebook, we will see you next time. This is the Week 14 picks with Bold Prediction Sports.
15, but he got us, and we out, y'all.